Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a podcast. That is what we're going to call it. It's just called a podcast with a question mark because at the end of the day, I still don't have a name, and I'm just going to go with it. Today, I have Munnycat on, who are a what do you guys say, indie pop band?
Yeah, we're an indie pop band, I guess is a safe catch-all term for it.
Yeah,
you know?
kind of depends on whatever the heck we
I
feel like
feel like
making that day.
yeah,
But it ends, or what song you listen to. But you know what I mean. Like, what that's definitely
a fair
that's a
assessment.
fair assessment.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, everybody that is listening to this, how did I get this indie pop band with almost 13,000 followers to come onto my podcast? I basically just sent them a DM and said, "Hey, would you want to do it?" And here we are.
Of
Shoot your
course,
shot, man.
of course,
We're
man.
happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
We love talking to people that like music. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally what we do all day. Like, if it wasn't you, we'd be go hanging out with our friends talking about the same kind of stuff, probably.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So
So,
we really appreciate it.
yeah. So I guess my first question is, how did Money Cat form? Like, how did Money Cat become Money Cat? Like, did it start as like obviously I know it's a passion project to do music, but did it start as something else before Money Cat, or was it always Money Cat?
It wasn't always Money Cat. It was like Colin and I met in our hometown of Youngstown, Ohio in like 2011 and we met through music, but I was just a really big fan of his band. And I was also a musician in the area.
And I was a big fan of her art as well, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, so we started dating, and I think we tried to keep it separate for a while, but like every once in a while I'd help him on one of his songs and he'd help me on one of my songs. It was always so fun, but we still really didn't want to like mess with each other's art too much because we were big fans of each other.
Yeah, I looked every time, like, she'd be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I was like almost afraid to give an answer because I didn't want to mess it up. I liked what she was making, and I just be kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, no, that's cool." Because her old project and the project I had, they were both like established before we met each other. So I didn't want to like give some advice that took it a new direction because I genuinely was just looking forward to whatever she produced next. So I feel like with Money Cat, it was a chance for us to just do something that was completely different than both projects, and we could both kind of let go of that kind of. You get kind of a preciousness with projects where it's like, oh, I did this. This is what this project is about, and like I felt like the stuff I was doing was like a rock band. It was kind of like a weird, flaming lipsy, kind of crazy rock band, and she was doing like kind of a dark pop thing, and I was like, well, I don't know anything about dark pop. Like, I don't want to give any advice. But when we started Money Cat, it was much more of a. We kind of went back to what we were when we were talking about, like, well, what kind of music will we make together, because we had written some like fun like acoustic songs, because we'd perform out together sometimes, just doing these like kind of like little love songs and whatnot. And then we were like, okay, this is, we should be playing to our strengths. We're both music producers. Like, what could we do together that was different than our other projects, and was something that we could both contribute 50% of the load, or we could both do 80-80, because it's kind of extra with Money Cat. And we developed the kind of idea of Money Cat as just being this like homage to the things that we loved originally about music. Not like when you've been making music for a long time, sometimes I think you kind of end up like falling into these like really obscure rabbit holes, and that's cool too. But with Money Cat, we were like, what did we originally love about music, and why did it get us pumped? Because when we were 6, 7, 8 years old, we loved music, right? Like, why? What about that stuff got us into music and originally made us fans?
That's right.
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is how it started. I think that there was a moment where you and I both realized that we had so much fun helping each other
Yeah,
that like it just felt at a certain point. Plus all the songs we were making together. Well, not all of them. There weren't that many, but the ones that I had helped you with and the ones that you'd helped me with, we felt like people liked them more than our other songs.
yeah,
Plus,
it
we
really
really
was.
liked making them.
It
So
was
we
very
were like,
fun.
what if we tried something together that was completely different?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
liberating.
it was.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier in the before we started this interview, I had found you all through Instagram ads for the song "Honest," and it was this nice little pop beat, and I was really like, not, and I will be honest, I love all there are genres I don't listen to, which I'm not a big fan of country music, and I'm not a huge fan of rap.
Yeah.
So those are the two genres. Now I do know people in the rap music scene in my area, and I think they're really really good because it's not like not like what you hear on the radio, which is what I prefer when it comes to hip hop and stuff like that. Like where it's not like very vulgar, and I'm like, I can't do this. But
Mm-hmm.
for honest, it was this nice little um Western themed music video, and I want to go into that. Like, how did the concept of making it a music video like set in an old Western town, like how did that like idea come about?
Well,
Oh, well, Khalid, I think during COVID, Khalid started playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And
it's a wonderful epic country or a cowboy video game.
talk about a world to get lost in, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were and I was watching him the whole time. I would just like, hang out on the couch and be like, "Whoa, that's crazy." Um and so we were in that headspace.
And then we were watching a lot of westerns.
And that song just sort of has that saloony bounce to it.
Yeah,
We
the
didn't do it on
piano.
purpose.
It
Yeah.
wasn't on purpose, but that it had a kind of piano driven, like kind of, yeah, like a saloony bounce. And then too, I feel like the attitude that you have in that song is so like,
Gunslinger.
yeah, it's like bravado. You know what I mean? It's kind of like she just has this kind of energy that's like no one can mess with, like a confidence that is unshakable. And it kind of reminded us of some of
Yeah.
the heroes in those movies that they walk into town and everyone is like, holy crap. Like it's that kind of like unshakable confidence that, like like an old, uh what's his
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. When he
Yeah.
walks into town, everyone's like, oh Lord. You know what I mean? So I think they all kind of the stars kind of aligned on that one.
And it was actually pretty easy video to pull off because we're in Los Angeles, so we are in the Wild West, and
Yeah.
you'd be surprised with how many Western sets exist in and around LA.
Yeah.
For relatively affordable. And because it's Los Angeles, which is very, very exciting for us as filmmakers, is we're surrounded by an industry of people who do this stuff all the time. And so we actually were able to reach out to the costume place, like they're called Western Costume Rental Company, and they did the clothes, like the scans, the digital costume scans for Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, so
2.
they pulled all the clothes, and it's funny because it's like a video game. Why do you need a costumer? It's because it was nowadays video games are so high resolution that they actually have to scan in. Well, for this game, they did. So they picked all the costumes for all the characters in the game, and then digitally scanned them in, and then all the artists in the video game world went to work. But this company did that video game. It did like going back to like the beginning of cinema. They did
the
like
Westerns.
they did all the old westerns. They did Gone with the Wind, but they also do modern movies. So they did like Spider-Man and like Black Panther and stuff like that. So it's literally acres and acres of costumes. When you go there, you have to take like a scooter around or like a little golf cart, and you'll be going through to be like, this is late 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be like, here's late 1965 professional wear,
Yeah.
late 1965 bathing suits. Like it's just acres and acres of costumes. So we got to work with them, and we had like a consultant there, and we showed them it was just the coolest thing in the world to pull off because it was like, I mean, it was like being a kid in a candy store.
And as filmmakers, and we're film fans, and so I think that a lot of what we do when we're making videos, especially out here, is like just like getting to participate in the culture of movie making in LA, getting
Yeah.
to go to that rental house and take out and get fitted and take out and bring in. We like had to make a look sheet so that we could bring in the inspiration, and the costumers would know what we were talking about. And it's just so much fun because we just make these videos with our friends. I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there were 6 people on that set, and we were 2 of them.
And the other 4 are in the video somewhere.
Yeah.
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 Our makeup friend was not, but all the other people, like our friend who's a cinematographer, he has a cameo in the video. Our other friend who was a grip, he ends up having a cameo.
Yeah.
Our other friend who's the director, she was in the video. So it was just basically just kind of the same thing we did in Ohio when we lived before we moved up to California. We just get together with our friends and just make stuff on a weekend because it's what we want to do and it's what's fun to us. But it was just kind of on a different level because we got to have like sets, ponies,
Oh my gosh,
costings.
horses.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we broke it all down ahead of time. We made a big shot list and we broke it out because we really like obsessing over that stuff ahead of time and figuring out what the arc is and figuring out the timing and everything. And then when we get there on the day of, because we don't have a ton of money for these things, it's really just like go and we just shoot everything we can possibly shoot with our friends. You know?
Yeah. So I have before I get into the other music videos, I want to ask because I know Honest came out around when the because y'all mentioned the COVID. It was coming out around the time when the restrictions were lifting up on film projects. Do you find it easier now to shoot videos without those restrictions, or was it a lot easier with the restrictions?
I think that we didn't do all of the stuff that we did during COVID. I think our last music video that we filmed before COVID was Full Bronto, and that was like the week it broke out and nobody knew what was going on.
Literally.
So there were no restrictions yet. We were all just
we didn't know what was going on. Our friend who was one of the dancers left his water bottle here, and then we didn't see him for like a year and a half or whatever it was because everything went into lockdown.
Yeah.
But like I even think that night may have been like I feel like we were wrapping up and everyone was like, "Oh, did you hear they canceled some NBA games?" And like it was when things started to first fall.
Feel weird not hugging your friends goodbye, but you're not supposed to. Like that was really weird for us. But with Honest, I think that we were all vaccinated, and it was a pretty
It was outdoors
footprint. We didn't I think that by the time we did that, like I don't have a lot our filming memories during COVID were all in our apartment, just me and Colin. You know what I mean? So I think that by the time we did Honest, with our friends, it was when we kind of felt like we had all been vaccinated, I guess, you know.
And we did have a bunch of protocols on set.
But it was weird
because all the people we had worked with were a lot of them, were like they were working in the industry where they could. There was like a lot of good protocols that I think went into place that are we still do now, where it's like we always make sure that we have like hand sanitizer and you're cleaning everything and you're being aware of all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Because the last thing you want to do on any set is
Get
anybody else sick. So it's just kind of like good habits of hygiene that I feel like during that time period, we didn't really do. That whole video was all outdoors.
It was.
Well, maybe indoors for a couple scenes, but it was like 2 people inside with the door wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I really and like I said, I really do like that. That was how and that's how I discovered you all like through that. I really like that video. I really like the song a lot. I think it was in the top 50 most played songs on my Spotify that year.
Oh my gosh, how cool!
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was telling people about and and of course my genre to go to is pop punk and emo music. So like when I do love Billie Eilish and stuff like that, but when I was playing it for some friends, they're like, "Are you good, man? Like, are you going through like a midlife crisis early? Because
Yeah,
this is a
literally.
little too soft for you." And I was
Yeah.
like, "No, I look at the cinematography. So my background's in filmmaking, so like the
Oh, nice. You get it.
so yeah, the cinematography is what I look for in a music video. And honestly, I've heard some really bad songs from art, like not necessarily bad, just not my cup of tea. But they have really cool music videos, and I'm like, yup.
Yeah.
That's great. I always feel like it's a kind of an internal mantra with us that we try to find every opportunity we can to be creative, right? And making a music video, sometimes people make a music video that just kind of really supports the themes of the song, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But I feel like lots of times with us, we look at the music video as another opportunity to tell like another angle of it that still supports it. Like I was saying, like the bravado.
But we treat it more like a short film than a lot
Yeah.
of music videos
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more, and we've tried to break that in us because we know it's not normal. But I actually think that we just sort of were like, screw this. Let's just be ourselves more. And I mean, at least we're just having so much fun doing it. And I think that us making videos, like, I think it's cool that your background is in film as well, because like we're visual people. And Colin and I have been at record stores and we've bought records just because the album art is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like,
And maybe then we get into a new band that we would have never heard of, the same way you maybe found out about
they're
it.
different.
Yeah.
You know what I
There's,
mean?
yeah, there's
Like,
different ways to
some
enter.
people, they might
Yeah.
hear a song and they're like, "What is this song? I need this." Other people, they're more visual. Maybe they'll like, so the video or the art, that stuff is the way to grab them. But I think that it's cool that we found each other in this big old crazy world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely and I'm pretty sure like a lot of people that are listening to this are gonna be like, obviously your people, and then everyone that I talk to listens to my podcast or just be like, who are these people that you talk to? Like what?
Yeah,
And
totally.
Maybe they'll find out about us from
they
it and they'll
need
get
to
into it.
they need to listen. So I want to go to I want to skip a little bit because how I because for a while there, because you know how the algorithm goes on social media,
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't see as much post as much. How I found out about Ditto was it premiered on YouTube and I was subscribed, and that's how I found out about it. So I want to go into Ditto, your most recent single. I guess has there been another one you've released since then, or is it just Ditto?
Ditto's the most recent one that we released. I think we put that one out June 20 something. It was in
Yeah,
June.
near
Boy,
the end
time
of June.
flies.
Yeah, like near the
Yeah,
end of June, and
that one was crazy because
it
we knew we needed to make that one, but we like we were super. We just like waited until it was supposed to. Like, we have a PR person, and we told them it would be done by a date, and then it was like 10 days out from that date and we were like, we haven't actually
yeah
started it yet.
yeah
So we made that video. I think we started with an animatic, so that's just the way that we kind of like to edit, is but because we're an indie band and things are expensive to rent locations and
oh
whatever,
yeah
you really want to be as good with your time as possible. You want to be super efficient. And so what we've found is that we make the edit, um, and then we kind of know exactly what shots. It's essentially a shot list, but we're visual people, and that's how we understand things. So that's the helpful way for us to do it, you know. And then we were able. So we spent like the first 3 or 4 of those days making the animatic,
Yeah.
and then we had like 4 or 5 days to actually film the stuff. So it was insane. And then we had to drop it all in. We had to do that green screen stuff. Like, it was crazy.
yeah. I saw like the different like sets, like the jail cell, then it goes to the mansion, and then it goes to the
Yeah.
desert, and then it goes to the underworld kind of thing, and I was like, this is very like, and then like knowing what level you all are on, it's like very independent. I'm like, yeah, if they can do it,
Yeah.
most bands can, because that was looked like it was a very, very, very well put together video, and I really like how it changes. Really, what got me laughing in the video, not saying it was a bad thing, but like when it looked like you all were just like when you're jamming in the jail cell and the head banging, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be that's what I would get if you're just sitting there. Like that was that moment in the video always was like, yes, that's great. I love that.
Oh,
Oh,
how
awesome.
fun. I
That's
love
awesome.
that.
I
Yeah.
feel like that song begs for a little head bob like
Yeah.
that. You know what I
And
mean?
it's funny because if you see the animatic, which I've been telling Colin, I want to make the animatic itself like the lyric video and post it. So we may do
Yeah.
that one of these days.
Yeah.
Because we did a test of that with our 360 camera. to make sure that it would work, just like in our apartment ahead of time, so
Yeah.
that we knew and practiced the moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll appreciate this too. Like as a filmmaker, we had the plot and we had the arc of it. But when you set it to music, you start realizing that certain things have to happen with different parts of the song. So
Yeah.
I feel like with the animatic, we can really kind of get into the nitty gritty and be like, we thought that we could hang out in this area for 30 seconds. Nope. The song changes 20 seconds in and it feels like it needs to go to the next spot. So that's what helps us kind of iron out the timing on those things. I think that like this most recent one is a really kind of an example of like, hopefully they'll all just keep even getting better and better. But I feel like a lot of the tricks we'd learned from other music videos all came into play. And I don't think we could have pulled this one off 3 years ago for the amount of money and time and available resources that we had in any way. Like I think that this was a really good example of like if you're really organized and you think things through ahead of time, you leave a little bit of wiggle room on set. There's a couple shots that we'd never planned for that just kind of happened, but if you kind of just do your due diligence ahead of time, you can pull these things off in a way that I think maybe people don't think they can. You know what I mean? Like the indie band or an indie filmmaker might not realize until you just get out there and start doing it, and then you'll learn and you'll make a better one next time even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because one I really liked was the especially since I've seen it done in more obviously like bigger budget projects. The flashing of the dresses, like the flashing colors. I'm like, that's got. I know that takes forever to do. Like I've seen people try to do that, and it does not always work out well for them.
That
Yeah,
was
that took
very hard.
hours. That took so long.
That was a lot of time, but it paid off. I love the way it came out.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that, and then I like when you're looking through the box and the faces and it like especially the thumbnail says call it like what and I was like yeah what's going on here and then I'm like I'll wait for the video to premiere because it was like I think it was a premiere or something it popped up I was like gotta wait I'll wait for it to come out and when I watched it I watched it a few times before that because like afterwards I'm like yep really like this and I can tell the green screen work probably took the longest. Was that the longest thing to do?
It was the shortest to film, but the longest to edit.
Edit, yes.
It was the reason we pulled an all nighter to get it out the door, with
Yeah.
just making it blend and work, you know?
Yeah, that was hard, and I think like you learn something every single time. The things that I think we did right were we tried to really sell the lighting of the environment that we are going to be in. So like we knew where the moon was going to be, we knew where the lantern was going to be, we knew where the light fires were going to be, and then getting all that to sit right so it didn't just look like we were standing in front of a green screen like a weathercaster. You know what I mean? Was kind of the tricky part, and giving it some three dimensionality was like I think we did it way better than I thought it was going to come out. And now I know even more, so I'm kind of looking
Yeah.
forward to trying some new fun tricks.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. So speaking of when you said about 3 dimensional, I have to ask because you got your album coming out. You got a cassette coming out, a mini disc, a CD, and a vinyl, which is 3D. I have to ask, how did the concept of doing a 3D vinyl come about? Like, 'cause I really like that design, and I'm tempted to just be like, I don't have a record player, but I'm tempted to just pick it up because I think it's cool.
A lot of people have actually. They've been like, I'm not going to go. Well, we've had people say, well, now I have to buy a record player. And then we've had other people say, I bought the album because it's a collectible, and then I bought a CD so I can actually listen to it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't. I think more people than maybe the past 30 years or so have record players again. I think it's getting cool again. But yeah, like it is such a cool. It's we just I don't know, like Colin had this idea for his rock band like 10 years ago, and we never did anything with it because of a lot of different reasons. Like it just wasn't the right time. And then when we started talking about doing our debut full-length album, we were thinking, in this culture, in this industry, the way it's kind of moved, it's more of a singles, like people just want like a kind of more of a constant stream of singles, and they want music. They always want to know what's new, what's next. And so it's always felt, well, just like in the recent past, it's felt like, you're going to put out all of these songs, and then at the release show, they're going to ask you what's next. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so we were like, what if we release this album, but we kind of release it single by single to a certain point,
Yeah.
and then we release the whole thing with some new songs and some new versions of the pre-release songs on a vinyl record that is physical and tactile and is like a collectible, like make it an event. That is the event, is the fact that it is on vinyl. And like with the 3D, we did a lot of research to see, because we came up with this idea 10 years ago, and when we started talking about it again, we were like, somebody's had to have done it. Right? So
Yeah.
we looked for hours. We were just like looking on Google, and we could not find anybody who has ever successfully pulled it off.
And then we were like, maybe they did that because it's impossible. And we started reaching out to different manufacturers, and a lot of them were like, yeah, it might work, but let's put some 3D glasses in just in case. And we were like, nope, that's not who we're going to work with. And then we found a couple companies that were a little more adventurous, but the one that really jumped out, we found one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is kind of where we grew up. We grew up like an hour away from there in Ohio, and they just had an incredible attitude. They were like, let's solve this together, like we're gonna figure it out. And we went and we toured the place, and we took some samples of their exact blue and their exact red, and we worked with it when we were actually designing the artwork, because we did all the graphic design too in Photoshop and solved it. And then we did some tests, and then went out to the desert and took a picture with the kind of the ideas in mind that we'd have enough depth to pull things off, and it freaking worked. And
It
I
worked.
love the way it
Yeah, I like the artwork
came
for
out.
the
Yeah.
album a lot. Like the artwork, the desert and stuff like that. Because the minute
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, and at first, but now that I'm here, it's like when I'm looking at the, obviously the picture and stuff like that with the album, I'm thinking, did they use? And in my head, I'm like, I've worked with bands a lot, and I'm like, did they just use Ditto to like pull this, like to push this out? Like obviously you want to use a song to push it out to promote it, but like when I was looking at the picture, I was like, that's Ditto. But
They
Yeah,
were
that's
kind of
awesome.
they were kind of thematically.
Now that yeah, I feel like so much time has passed, and I mean, ultimately, the thread of the record is that it's Khalid and I making art together until we
yeah,
die. So, in all different forms, even if we are cowboys or whatever, like it all kind of serves loosely thematically. But ditto, till death we do art. Like now that we're in go time and this is happening, there's definitely, because I come from a pop girly world where we are married to our eras, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it does seem like it reinforces the album. The till death do we do artness, like the fact that we go and we twerk in the underworld, like
yeah,
you know, like that stuff. It does kind of all and it's funny because the song existed for a while without that, but once we started thinking about what's the next video, like the story wrote itself and the visuals just came so fast, and they all kind of reinforce the till
Yeah.
death we do art narrative. So I'm glad that you picked up on it.
And plus,
yeah,
just as artists, I feel like you go through phases where you're obsessed with different things. And
yeah,
our general attitude for stuff is like, do we think it's cool? Oh, okay, then we're gonna do it. Like, we don't have like a label yelling at us or anybody. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So our, you know,
Yeah, honestly, my biggest worry, but because full disclosure, my biggest worry to this was when I reached out to you, I was afraid you were gonna give me like an email to contact because it's happened with me when I tried to interview bands, like, oh, email my manager, and I never get a word back from them, even though I'm like
yeah.
fully,
Oh,
and I'm like, I really, and when I got the reply, like, let's do it, I was like, oh, this is gonna work, awesome,
hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
because
we did just get a manager just a past, I don't know, the past 3 months or so, but we're one of those
like
bands that like
fully independent, fully like we don't have a label that says, oh, you
for
can't
sure.
like you can't put Ditto on your album because it's not good enough. Like stay it as a
Yeah.
Right.
single. And honestly, I prefer I like I've talked to bands that are on labels and they like the ones that don't fully creative control it, but at the same time it's like they just want to be fully independent, but at the same time, it's like that doesn't always pay the bills. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it, but
Yeah.
you know, but that
Yeah.
and
I'm not sure we would even know how to do that. Like, I'm not sure if, like, we've been so DIY our whole lives that I think it's I don't know. Like, I am glad that you were able to just hit us up and we were like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
let's do it. We didn't have to run it up a chain of
no,
yeah,
mail.
that's
That's
great.
yeah.
I love the fact that when someone messages us, it's like us responding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So the weird side about that, and I think this is a compliment maybe, but sometimes people will, like, if they say something like really just like mean or whatever. I don't think, like, because I don't think they realize that, like, we're the ones reading it. Like, you're not. This isn't some label pushing out or some ad agency. So when people say compliments, we receive them, and when people say mean things, we just kind of let them off, like, slide off our back. People
yeah,
aren't that mean, to be honest. But every now and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. This We must be presenting as a big enough band that they don't think this is actually going to be read by the people that did it. You can kind of tell in the
yeah,
tone. Like, sometimes they'll say things, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute. They think we're like some huge band being pushed by, like a label, and that this is some industry
It's my
plant
favorite
shit.
diss.
It's almost like a weird compliment diss in a
Mhm.
weird way every now and then. But
yeah. But it's so cool that you can just like, and honestly, I talked to an artist a few months ago, and she loved the fact that she got hate mail because she's like, I
yeah,
think I've made it. she
yeah,
Literally.
she
the-
actually told
yeah,
me that her very first, like, one of her, when she goes out on the road, I think next year or later this year, something like that, she's gonna have a shirt that has obviously the username blurred out in the picture, but it's gonna be that DM on a T-shirt. And I'm like,
that's
good,
great.
that's all. And then she's like, and I'm gonna message them and give them a free one.
That's
That's
so
brilliant.
funny.
That's brilliant.
But
I love that.
yeah, and speaking, we talked a little bit about the dark pop back in the day, and I can get that from the hint of Ditto. Like, is it definitely a different tone, a different sound change from the other singles that have come out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I made when I was making pop music on my own, it was dark, not because I feel like I'm particularly a dark person. I'm quite the opposite. But I think that, like, I was doing a lot of journal diary style writing, and then I was producing them, and I think that the songs that I like, the sounds I was into were all real lush, and so it couldn't help but, and I have fun with Halloween and things like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I couldn't help that came through me. And Khalid's rock band, The Zoo, dude, you should check them out. If like they are so dark. And I remember looking at Khalid when we were on the set of Ditto and going, "Are we a Halloween band?"
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
we might be a Halloween band. I don't know, but it is. It's always been a part of both of us, and it's funny because the music is fun.
yeah.
So I don't want people to think we're not like a goth metal band. It's not like that kind of dark, but there is like
Right.
a fun spirited darkness to our
Yeah,
stuff that I'm glad you're picking up on too.
yeah.
Because
Cause uh, this is actually cause Ditto, when I started hearing the lyrics, and it was kind of soft at first, and I'm like, with the little like drum and like the little bass beat like riffs. I'm like, it kind of is like a mixing with a little bit of like Billie Eilish, but more you can tell what you're singing. Because
nice.
sometimes Billie Eilish's songs, I don't know if you've ever listened to Billie Eilish, but sometimes I
We
can't
love her.
pick
Yeah.
up on what she sings. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta find lyrics or something because sometimes it's like so soft pitched, and
Yeah,
I get it. That's what they go. What's what she's going for. So it's whatever. But when I heard Ditto, I'm like, yeah, I'm liking this beat, and it just shifts, and then the scenes shift, and that's why I really like that video. And I'm like, yeah, this is probably my favorite video that you all have done. But I think my favorite song will still be Honest,
That's
because
great though.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Now,
glad that we can go different directions and the same people can still kind of enjoy it, hopefully.
yeah,
But
and
different
that's what I.
components
Different
of
parts of
them.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So I do have so I'm gonna go back to some earlier questions because we kind of drifted a little bit. But I like to always ask this question to everybody. Who are your musical influences? What got you started to making music? Like who inspired you to just go do music?
Well, I grew up like wanting to be a Spice Girl, so that's it's pretty exclusively where I'm at. Um, I feel like everything that I've ever done has just been would a Spice Girl do this or that, and then I do like the one that they would probably do. It's just
Yeah, but
sort of
you
like
also you love Atlantis and you love
I do.
Casey Musgraves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
I
got
love
some.
like
Casey
I love
Musgraves.
She's
Casey
so great.
Musgraves is amazing. I always tell Khalid that like if we wouldn't have because even before like if I would have maybe stayed on a trajectory where Moneycat wasn't a thing, there's a world where I became a Casey Musgraves. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
that
sometimes
that
her
that's your
songwriting,
style.
yeah, sometimes her songwriting feels like it's like sometimes she makes a song and I went, I wrote this song, didn't I? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
But I love pop music. I love um I mean, I'm a Swiftie and I like, but my favorite Taylor Swift album is like Evermore, so I like kind of her more introspective piano stuff actually.
yeah,
Uh yeah. So what about you, Colin?
I come from a background of like golden age noisy hip hop and punk and stuff. Like I really like Public Enemy and Ice Cube when I was growing up. That's what originally when I was like a little kid that's exclusively really what I listened to
Mhm.
and some metal and stuff. And then as I got older, I got into the Beatles. Obviously, I love the Beatles and the Stones and some 60s stuff. And I love a lot of weird like kind of weird musical theater like Jesus Christ Super. Well, it's not weird, but Superstar. But I really like Stephen Sondheim is one of my favorite composers. And like, so I kind of come from a weird background over there. So I feel like when you put all those in the blender, you actually get Money Cat.
You
Like,
do.
it kind of does make
yeah,
sense. Like, I feel like when people are like, "Oh my god, this is so weird," and then they when they start thinking about what we or when they learn about what we like, they're like, "Yeah, okay, that all makes sense. This all makes sense."
Mhm.
There's all those influences are in there, and we love a lot of new stuff too. I feel like we're always trying to like is find new music, not even new as in just came out. But I feel like as an artist, it's really, really important to keep that excitement for finding new songs that get you jazzed. And I feel like we make a point of that. Kind of like I try to almost do it like almost like like you got to work out, you got to brush your teeth, you got I always try to
yeah,
find new music, and every now and then I'll be like I haven't learned any new bands in a little bit, I got to start doing some more work, and I'll actually start kind of like aggressively pursuing new stuff to inspire us because I feel
yeah.
like it's what keeps you going.
Yeah. Um, what genres do you like? Obviously, Money Cat is its own thing, but is there like obviously I know we talked about dark pop and rock, but is there an artist that you all listen to that you do not think anybody would have guessed? Like, is there an artist out there like
I'm sure there's tons because
Yeah.
we listen to all kinds of weird
Well,
stuff. Like go ahead.
we both really love like Shovels and Rope. They're like it's like a kind of an outlaw country duo. They're
okay,
kind of
They're
yeah.
much more like 60s country than like new country. Don't think
We
ugh.
like
love
pop
them.
country. We love
Even
Shells
then,
on the
I'm
Road.
still like, but I'll check them out because I always like
Definitely.
to listen to different people, like because I'll always go at least check people out.
Yeah, we love them so much that when Colin and I first started dating, I was playing acoustic. Like I was learning production, but I didn't know how to like play it live or anything like that. So, and the
Yeah,
times were different. I feel like, it
Yeah.
felt weird to bring out a laptop and play a track. So I would do
yeah,
like acoustic shows and then Colin would like come and play with me. But we were such big Shovels and Rope fans that we like hit up their management and we were like, how with them. We brought them to our hometown and we were like, you guys can have all of the door. Like, we literally don't care. We just want to be on the bill. So we're going to
Yeah.
bring you.
yeah,
So we played a show with them back in the day because we were just really big fans. you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like we listen to a lot of other like softer stuff that I don't think
I
like.
listen to a lot of sad girl stuff that people wouldn't expect. But
Yeah. Or like I love the Carpenters. That's like one of those like
Oh,
you know what I mean. I listen to
yeah,
some stuff that I do not think people would expect because
Yeah.
I'll also listen to Wu Tang and I'll also listen to like Madlib and like weird like some other stuff.
yeah.
But then it'll be like, oh, and now we're gonna like we just did a cover of Islands in the Stream, which is a Kenny Loggins and Dolly Parton song. Like
Oh,
we just recorded a little cover of it in our studio for fun.
I
You
have to
know?
I have to ask. Was it after? Did you guys see Oh Hi?
No. What's
Okay.
Ohio?
Oh Hi is a new movie with Logan Lerman and Molly Gibson. Molly Gibson is in that show The Bear, and Logan Lerman, I think he was in something called Percy Jackson back in the day. But
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like it's like it's a different, and the reason why I'm asking is because that song actually plays a part in their relationship in the very beginning of the movie. That's why I was asking if that's
Oh
why
no
it
way.
covered it. Yeah.
Oh, I
So
guess we should release it.
yeah. So yeah, it's actually a really good movie. It's very indie. I don't know how many theaters it played in, but it was like when it comes out on demand, you should definitely check it out. It's really really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it Ohio like OHAI?
yeah,
It's
OJ.
OH
Oh,
comma high like H,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
and it
nice.
takes place
Nice.
in actually takes place in a place called, it's actually a vacation, apparently. I don't know if it's a real place in New York, but it's called High Falls in New York. But people put on the sign in the very beginning of the movie. They saw a sign that said "Oh hi." They messed with the sign, and that's why That's why the character in the movie said, "Oh, it's Oh High Falls." No, it's just called High Falls, and it's really really funny movie. But they're singing that song in the beginning of the movie. That's why I was asking if that
Oh,
Oh,
was
that's
like
that's
fun.
so
That's fun.
sweet.
yeah. Yeah, and when you've brought up the Carpenters, it's really funny. One of my colleagues actually listens to the Carpenter. Like her radio will go from Avril Lavigne to Taylor Swift to the Carpenters to the Beatles to Less Than
Yeah,
Jake, Real Big Fish. It's like a mixtape on acid. Is what I tell
that's
her every
great.
day. I tell her every
That's
Nice.
day.
great. The Carpenters slap, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And Karen
I
Carpenter's doing all that and playing drums live. Like, what a gifted,
yeah.
cool voice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if now here's a fun question. I like to ask this to every artist I talk to, and now we got two people, so probably different answers. You're given an allotted amount, like an unlimited amount of money. A promoter comes up to you and says, "Hey, you're in charge of booking a 3-day festival. Who's headlining Friday, Saturday, Sunday?"
Oh, wow.
Munnycat's headlining Saturday.
Hey, why not?
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
put it right in the middle when everyone's held hostage and they're there already. Um, let's see. I would also have.
Do they have to still be like
Do they have
alive?
to be popping
Oh
off
yeah,
right
yeah.
now,
Oh,
or could
sorry,
it
I
be
did say a
anyone?
living or dead. It could be anybody. If you could, even if you could
Okay.
resurrect somebody from the grave, like
Wow.
whatever.
The Spice Girls would headline Sunday
Okay.
through the grand finale.
Uh huh.
Um, and then I would have. I would have.
It's a tricky question, isn't it?
It's a
Yeah,
tough.
it's always a fun question. It's a really big, and how I found that out, how I found out to ask this, I talked to I don't know if you guys know who crap. I talked to one of the guys from Less Than Jake a few years ago.
Yeah.
One of the members. Crap, what's his name? It was only because he was at a studio that I was visiting at in PA at the time. And he's like, you should ask this icebreaker if you could have anybody build a festival, if they're dream people, alive or dead, who would that be? I said, I'm gonna use that. And I kept using it ever
Yeah, that
since.
is really good. That
I feel
is
like
really
I
good.
feel like I mean I gotta say the Beatles, right? I mean, like one
Yeah,
night has to be the Beatles
for
because it
sure.
would just be incredible to see them perform again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'd be very, very fun to. I probably would put. I guess I'd have to put Public Enemy on there because I love Public Enemy.
If I was gonna stick with my girl power theme of like Money Cat
Yeah.
and the Spice Girls, and it could be anyone dead or alive, it might be Selena Quintanilla Perez.
Oh yeah,
Wouldn't that be
Selena.
so good?
Yeah,
Have Selena
Yeah.
back for a night.
yeah.
That'd
Oh
be
wait,
a fun ass show.
that'd be a very, very fun girl power weekend.
Yes.
I
That
guess I have to pick one more. Who's my other one? Let's think about this. Um, I want to hear Gomez or Menomina
yeah.
or some band like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Menomina.
Okay.
Let's put Menomina, which is a really cool band I love, um, just because I feel like they'd be great. And I feel like it would kind of represent the things I love. There'd be some hip hop, there'd be some rock, and of course there'd be the Beatles.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good lineups for both of you. I really like that. Yeah, mine's always Friday. I always have Blink 182 headline, and
Nice.
then Saturday Less Than Jake, and then Sunday Newfound Glory. Actually, Newfound
Oh
Glory.
man, I'd come to that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newfound Glory is my all-time favorite band. I've seen them 20 times.
You have? Oh my gosh, I love Newfound Glory.
Yeah, they're super sweet too. Actually, really cool is I had the option, but I couldn't make the date. They someone from their team. I don't know how real the email was, but somebody got the similar email that ended up taking the show. But in DC, they were asking for local photographers, and I passed on the email thinking it was a scam. Nope,
No.
no, it wasn't. I got all upset. And then when I got I have a little bit of a well, I'll tell you guys after we end this, but before we end this, but after we end the when I take off the recording, but I did get something that I did end up taking this year, and I figured, what's the worst that could happen? All they want is my phone number. A scammer's gonna get my phone number no matter what. So I gave my phone number. Sure enough, I had people confirmed that the person was real, and then next thing you know, I'm doing things that I'm very excited about. But
That's
Oh, good
great.
for you.
yeah, and it's always like, man, I went to school for film. I wanted to make movies, and here I am just doing music related stuff. I'm like, well, bands still need video out there. It's not like they can just survive on just music. I mean, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they can, but visual content works too.
I agree.
Definitely. And if when you confuse all of your interests together, that is
Yeah,
when you win. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
you enjoy whatever you got to do in a day. It's related to something you're interested in, and that makes it easier.
yeah. And I'll talk to colleagues. They'll be like, dude, music, live bands is more your niche because you know how to edit that stuff better than you can with your actual films. Like, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but I do have now. Here's some. I don't know how now. I don't know how because when I found out it was after COVID, but when it comes to like, have you guys done like tours, or it just kind of like always been like a show here and there?
With Munnycat, I feel like it's been a show here and there.
Yeah, we're
We've
more
toured.
about quality over quantity with shows for us.
Yes.
Because you toured so much with the zoo, and I think that
We did like 500 shows, like literally.
Yeah.
Like we played everywhere. And we would play big shows, and then we would end up booking like one big show like 40 hours away. And then we would fill the calendar with anything else we could get. So we'd play a coffee shop in the morning and a college at night. And then the next day we'd play a little dive bar. We would play outdoor music festivals, but we'd also play like city walks. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
we played so much, and there's nothing that can compare to connecting with a crowd live. It's just it's its own. It's you really nothing can compare. But when you're trying to when you only have X amount of hours and X amount of energy as a band, you kind of have to make some hard decisions sometimes. And
yeah,
I feel like for us, it makes the most sense to make more music and to make
and to
music
make
videos
videos
and to
yeah,
be able to promote it correctly.
and to
Because
not expect to make money from shows. You know what I mean? If we
yeah,
were touring, we would just be like hemorrhaging money all the time.
yeah,
yeah,
By focusing on presenting our music the way that we want it to be presented, which is in the music videos, and things like that, that goes a lot farther for us. I mean, obviously, like, and that is why it's so meaningful that you hit us up and that you shared how you found us with us, because that's the one thing that sort of is hard, that is it's hard to replace, aside from touring and being out there and playing
yeah,
shows, is like
yeah,
seeing people connect with your music. We don't get to see that much.
yeah.
right,
I feel like now when we do shows, they're very conscious. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
we know, like we're doing this show. We're doing a show on the 13th, which is like an album release. You know what I mean? Like that's like a real. There's a tie-in. There's a real. The venue's beautiful. But from playing
We're doing
when
a Halloween show.
we're doing a Halloween show. So
In
yeah, so
Ohio.
we did a show a couple months ago. Like so we only do a couple shows a year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
But when they do, they slap.
and when I know this is going to sound so not fun and so not rock and roll, but so much of doing a show is the work to promote it and to get the word out.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's
And when I
hard.
used to play shows, I used to play, 3, 4 shows a weekend. There's no way that each one of them is getting the attention it deserves. You know what I mean? You're kind of
Yeah.
just stumbling in to a new environment and hoping people are there. Whereas if we do a new show and we know ahead of time and we can actually promote it and we can get in touch with people there and we can get flyers created that are unique and
Yeah.
get your eye, and so truly it's a little bit of a bummer. I kind of hate that answer because I do want to do a proper tour again soon, and I think we will, but I think it just has to be the right time to do it when that's what we can focus on, because like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just sounds so silly to say, but you can only, whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing now will be like the seeds you're planting now will be blossoming in 3 months or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
we have to kind of pick what do we want to blossom and what is the thing that we really want to focus on. And reaching people is our favorite part. And there's something to be said for the way we're doing it right now. I feel like we get to reach a lot more people sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you do like the Instagram reels or like the ads. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know how Instagram ads work. It just randomly pops up. It just feeds into people's algorithms, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I found it. Like
that's great.
just scrolling through, and eventually you find something, and it works. It actually does work, and
It's funny though too, because when you do it that way, like when I used to tour, you'd play in a city and you'd get some fans and you'd come back and there'd be a couple more and you'd go back and there'd be a couple more.
yeah,
What's weird now is we have diehards in Texas and in New York and in Florida and in Ireland and in the UK and in Germany. And like, so it's funny because it's like, well, I guess we could go to those places, but they can be anywhere, and they can be people that really, really, really resonate with you. You can reach them and you can kind of keep in touch with them. And it's just a different animal, but it is still kind of weird for us to be getting our heads wrapped around it.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, me personally, I'm from Baltimore, so like, and when I was telling people like about y'all, they're like, "Who's that?" I was like, "Well, they're cool. You should look them up." And then like I get people that'll listen to like one of my colleagues today. I was playing because I told her I was like, "Yeah, I'm interviewing this band today." She goes, "You're always interviewing bands." I'm like, "Yeah, but this one's from like California." And they're like, "How?" And I was like, "DMs. You never know unless you
That's right.
ask."
That's right.
That's how we got to master our record at Abbey Road.
We just hit him
We
up.
just reached out. We
We
went,
asked.
"Hey,
They
can
said
we?"
yeah.
We were like, "Can we master our album there?" And they went, "Yeah. What days are good?" I was like, "What? Okay,
I
cool."
didn't know you
Yeah,
could
really.
Yeah.
just do that.
It's
Yeah.
like you never know unless you ask. It
Uh huh.
Totally.
literally, and like I told you earlier, it's like the answer I hate is, "Oh, email my manager," and then the manager's like, "Well, email this part of the company." I'm like,
Yeah.
how? Why can't you all just like give me a direct answer? Like they said,
Yep.
Yeah.
because I get it. Once you get to that point, or if you have like a team that does it for you, I never did fault the artist because she did reach back out to me, and I said, yeah, unfortunately they haven't gotten back to me, and they're like, well, let me reach out. Nope, never got back. But it's
Oh
all good.
man.
It doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, I got I'm like, hey, like I said, and I actually, it's like, yeah, it does suck that you don't get the opportunity, but there's always the next one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Totally. 100%.
For
Well,
sure.
I have a crazy question because you guys have played shows. Best show, worst show, or is there like a show that you think you could have done better? Not necessarily the worst show, but because some people don't like that word worst show, so I always like to try and change it up a little bit, like best show, and we could have
Yeah.
done this better.
So I think that our best show, it was like, it was so fun, was this the one we did it at the West Side Bowl
Yeah.
Oh,
recently. It was in February. It was in Ohio, and we have radio support there. And
oh,
so people drove in from all over the state to see us, and
Yeah.
it was packed.
And everyone who was there was like really excited to be there, and we were
Yeah.
really excited to be there, and it creates that kind of crazy energy.
And it
That was
yeah,
really, really fun.
and it felt like the first time that we performed that we really had our full vision together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
We had dancers, we had lights, we had incredible sound. Now that being said, I gotta say the best show I've ever played that wasn't a Money Cat show was at Red Rocks.
Well, that was a trip. Yeah.
Oh,
Kate and I played with my other band. She played guitar, and we got to play at Red Rocks to a sold out show. They didn't all come for us. We were the opener, but it was insane. Like that was the coolest thing. Literally, I feel like since then, that's why I feel like I'm kind of like, we'll play some shows when they're right. Because when she played Red Rocks to a sold out crowd, it was the coolest thing in the world.
That was really cool.
But that show we played in Ohio was very, very special because it just felt like everybody there was excited. They were singing along, and there was just incredible energy, incredible sound, incredible visuals. It was kind of like what you want. It was I had like zero complaints,
No
nothing, no notes. You know what I mean?
And then I think that for me, like, well, it's not that it was a bad show. It's just that I like I thought that we wanted to tour, and then just to get some practice, we booked like a practice show in San Diego, and we advertised it like a little bit, but we realized quickly we did not have a foothold. We didn't.
Yeah.
There was like one person there, and
oh,
it was a fun show for practicing, but also for
There was more than one person, but there was not a lot. But it was a very
small crowd.
It was
like 10
Yeah.
or 15, and I'm not going to complain. We gave a hell of a show to those 10 people.
Yes, we treated it
Yeah.
as a rehearsal because we were gearing up
Yeah.
to go and play, some of those
Yeah.
bigger shows, and we wanted to, that we wanted the bigger shows to not be our first time performing. So for our jitters, but I guess that would be the one where, I mean, the lesson I learned was that I don't need to play shows just to play shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Play,
know?
play the ones that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I work with a band. The very first show I worked with them. We went up to PA, York, Pennsylvania, for I don't know, some kind of like That's weird. They're like a punk grunge band, and they were booked on this metal show. Well, we get there, we check in, and all night everyone just basically played for the other bands because the show was mismarketed,
Yeah.
promoted. So it was everybody that worked with the bands that was there. I think one person did pay, but that was just out of like, I think it was like one of the band members had bought somebody a ticket, like
Yeah.
went out into like, because it was like the bar's out here and then here's the back room, and it's like, hey, who wants to come see live music? Here's a free ticket. And I think that's how that worked. We had one extra person, but it was still cool. Everyone gave it their all. They made jokes like, man, tough crowd tonight and all that. Like, they were having a blast. Like, everyone was having a good blast. I mean, the venue also provided everybody that wanted to drink alcohol. So I guess the bands were happy that drank. Because, the
Yeah.
venue's like, we'll give you all free alcohol. It's like, dang, okay, that's cool. And, like, people that worked with the bands got it. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. And then, but no, it's crazy. But if y'all ever do want to come to Baltimore, hey, I can help y'all get on the road.
That'd be fun.
That
That'd
Because
be
was
very
I
fun.
just
so
started
fun.
doing shows this year, like booking my own shows. It's a lot of fun. I'm now going to a I've been booking I started booking like house shows, and they're a lot more fun to book than a venue because
Oh, I'm sure.
it's like everyone crowds up in a base, like not
I love those. Yeah, those are so fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is your dream venue to play?
Red Rocks again.
Red Rocks
No,
again.
I'm just
Red
Yeah,
Rocks
everyone
again.
says Red Rocks.
Yeah, Red Rocks is so pretty. But we
Eh,
did that one. So if I was gonna come up with, I guess Hollywood Bowl. I was just at
Hollywood Bowl. Yeah,
for
that's
Jesus
good.
Christ Superstar this past weekend, and yes, it would be Hollywood Bowl for me. That's a very, very beautiful venue.
yeah, everyone.
Wembley Stadium.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
well
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that just happened. Like, didn't they just have a show there? It was Oasis just played there.
Yep.
There we go.
Sounds about
Money
right.
Cat and Oasis live at Wembley Stadium.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Yep.
Yeah. If okay, so here's another question. I remember how I asked you all about the festival, but let's say now the band or artist has to be alive. A band calls you up to go on tour with them tomorrow. We got to drop everything and go. Like, what band is gonna get you to do that?
Any band? No, I'm just joking.
Literally, any.
I would love to. I mean, if they were taking care of that part of it, we would be playing every
If they
night.
were asking us,
Yeah, but let's
Remy
think about
Wolf.
that.
I think we would be a really good on a bill with Remy Wolf.
Yep.
And she's popping off right now. Her shows, I think that we would play her play. We'd open for her, and people that were there would
Get
like
us.
us.
Yeah, they would enjoy it.
You know, or they're a warm audience. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they're
Or
looking for
or,
weird people like us.
or Ash Nico.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
I just saw her live a few years ago.
Oh wow, how was it?
Nice.
Was it good?
Yeah, she's great. I love her. I saw her. She actually played. I think not. I think she played a big. I don't know if it was the Capital One Arena here in DC, but it was a
Yeah.
venue in DC, and it was a few years ago. Really great. I went on a whim. I had another artist I found through Instagram, and it said that she was come. It was like, oh, this artist is playing near you, and I clicked on it. Found out Gail was opening. I was like, oh, now I'm really sold.
That's great. That's so fun. Yeah, I
So
feel like that's the kind of stuff that I think that we would have a lot in common with the crowd, and it would go over well. Because even if it's like, even though it'd be amazing, like I'm joking about, go play with Oasis. I feel like not all the Oasis fans would even really enjoy us being there.
right.
So, yeah, it'd have to be stuff. It'd have to be somebody that we really felt like, boy, this would be a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
You know?
like maybe the Killers a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be
But
very cool.
what if you? So I know you are filmmakers and everything. What is your to go to like genre of film to like watch
Hmm.
and stuff, or did you like everything?
We do like everything, but I'm not gonna lie, we're in pretty deep in the
And the
nerds
popcorn movies, I
and
feel
like the
like,
nerd
yeah,
universe, like comic book nerds. We're real into the MCU. We're into the DCU now.
yeah,
Oh, I
um,
love Superman. I thought that was pretty
that was
yeah,
cool.
great. It was kind
Superman
of
is
awesome.
awesome. So I think that that's what we watch. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like when we're home, like
we have
sitting
the
on the
AMC
couch.
pass, so we go to the movies like a lot. You
But
know,
yeah, we
Yeah.
watch like more like like the more artsy independent stuff when we're kicking it. But like when we're going out to the
Yes.
movies, man, well, because we have an IMAX in our neighborhood that we have the monthly pass for. We can
Oh,
go to any.
AMC.
Yep,
yeah.
yep. We're
Yeah.
subs A plus or we're what is it?
A-listers. Yeah, and now you can go to
Yeah, we're
four
A-listers. We're A-listers, baby. So
four
we end up
movies a
seeing
week
things on the
now.
big screen. Yep. It's
Mhm.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we end up going to see a lot of times the big ones, and we have like a 40X, which is like the seats move, and a Screen X out here. There's a lot of really cool ways to see the big movies in the
Yeah.
theaters. Now that
Yeah.
being said, I don't really like morally stand behind that argument, but because I want to support independent filmmakers. But to be honest, lots of times
I
when
make the argument that our big Marvel superhero movies are local filmmakers.
yeah, they're
for sure
local
in LA.
films. Yeah,
We
they're
always
all
make
our
that joke when we're at
Yeah.
the theater.
yeah, literally, like our
Which is
neighbors
a
are like
local
the grips
film.
and gaffers on those movies. Like we'll
Yeah.
we'll meet
Yeah.
people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I did electric on Black Panther."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh my god, really?" And
Um.
like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
The
So
up.
we're supporting our local economy of filmmakers, you know?
Yeah. There's a movie coming out. I believe next month called The Baltimoreans that was directed by J. Duplass, who did the I think he did, or his brother was the behind those movies Creep.
Okay, I've heard
Um.
of Creed.
The
Baltimoreans. That sounds pretty fun. It sounds like a local
It's from
support your
they
local
shot.
artists right
Yeah, they
there.
shot it in Baltimore, and a film class, a filmmate, one of my colleagues when I was in film class, was actually a PA on the film, and he said, unlike, even though there's like a few not really big name actors, but there's a few actors in there that have been in big things. He said
Yeah,
they actually weren't mean to me. They actually treated me with like the most like respect ever. And
that's awesome.
we both PA'd on House of Cards, and we were treated horribly. And I will
Oh
stand
dang.
by
No.
that. I hated my time on that. I did. I actually boycotted the show. The season I worked on, which I think was season 3 or 4, whichever one it was, with because Kevin Spacey was still on the show at the time.
Yeah,
I didn't get to meet him, and I didn't really want to anyway. But
No,
yeah.
you didn't miss
every
out on much.
yeah, but I was like, this guy, like it just wasn't that good of a it wasn't that good of an experience. But yeah, I love film. My favorite movie of all time is Halloween, the original.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
good one.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
then
That's why you like Ditto.
Yeah.
Kind of got the spooky vibes. You
Yeah.
know
yes,
what I mean?
Ditto does have a spooky vibe, especially like the murder in the desert. I'm like, oh my god, how crazy! Like,
Yeah.
was that? Now I want to go back to Ditto. Like, did you have to shoot like 'cause you said only had a couple days to film? Was each scene a day?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. We did the prison in one day. We did the mansion in one day. We did the desert in one day, and we did the green screen in one day.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and then we did some of the pickup, like I guess this would still count, like the desert stuff, the pre-desert,
Yeah,
like even like the running through the desert in our orange jumpsuits was on the desert day, and then we came back to the desert for the hellscape part. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and the
yeah. That
murder part.
yeah, that's a really fun music. It looked like a really fun video to shoot.
Oh, it was a
It was so
ball. It
fun.
was
But
so freaking fun.
I bet doing it, you're like, I want this to be done because I felt that way. If it's like you're doing it, it's like when's this gonna be over?
Not on this one.
Oh,
I feel like on
really?
this one, if we would have had 10 days or
If
20
we would
days,
have had more time to think about it, we might have. But we had to get it done.
and
Yeah.
So we were just like,
we were fighting sun a lot, so it was kind of
Yeah.
like, oh my god, hurry, 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 hurry. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So a lot of it was like, I wish I had like a couple more hours to do it. But that being said, I think
You
it all came
always
out good.
think
You
that.
always want more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
you
could
always
see.
do.
I
Next time I do a video in that short amount of time, that's gonna be the point, and I'm gonna make it like a YouTube challenge.
Yeah,
You know,
that'd be fun.
hey, I'm gonna try and make a music video in 10 days, start
Yeah.
start to finish. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
guys,
from
yeah,
like from scripting to shot
Yes.
listing to storyboarding, which I hate storyboarding because I can't draw. Like
Yeah.
I shot a horror film for my final at film class and for film school, and they're like, "Oh, you got to send in a storyboard." Uh,
Uh
these
huh.
stick figures don't look so good.
A lot of
Like,
times that's why the animatic helps, because you can, even if it'll be like
yeah,
when we build the animatics, it'll be like, oh, this is a shot from like the French Connection, and it has nothing to do with the script, but it's a two shot. You know what I mean? And I'll just
yeah,
plop it in, or it'll be like, this shot is from Spider-Man or whatever, but it's like it's a wide shot of someone coming over a
yeah,
hill, and it just helps you kind of frame it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, ah, crap. One more. I think I have a couple more. Look at my notes here. I'm sorry. I have to
No,
bring up
you're
my.
good.
I'm scrolling through because we're going. You got. I wanted to make sure I had a ton of notes for you all because I'm like I have to make sure I got a lot of questions because I'm like this is probably the biggest band I've like in terms of Instagram followers and stuff like that. Like
Aw, thanks, man.
biggest
That's
biggest one that's actually like giving me the time to like respond. I'm like, all right, I got a question, and I have a few well, not really fan, but I have a couple questions I put on my Instagram story today. My friend Becky wanted to know. Well, I basically got this started, but she wanted to know, what do you all think the future of Money Cat is, and do you all, and do you like cats? That's literally her thing. She's like,
that's great. That's
she's
fantastic.
like, do they
So,
like cats?
100%. We have a cat named Mr. Barry who is a gentleman. He's a Russian blue, and he's a very very elegant velour feeling, like a big boy, a big boned kitty. And he's very very cuddly and very very emotional, and he like literally gets anxiety attacks if we change anything.
Aw.
So he's a very sensitive fellow. So yes, we love cats, and we've had cats our whole relationship. Um, and so that the question of that is a resounding 100% yes, we love cats. And the future of Money Cat, I believe is, I mean, I don't know if this doesn't sound highfalutin enough, but it's just more of the same. I want to continue to be making music videos and to be continuing to releasing music and to be pushing ourselves as artists to try and really
Yeah.
kind of find every, like with the album, we were really proud of the fact that we were like, we are going to make every bit of this release an expression, because that's all we can do as artists, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help you if you're having a heart attack. I can't, I'm not particularly handy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'm not a great dancer or painter, but this is the thing we can do, and it's what it
we
sounds.
can offer to the
It's
world.
what we can offer to the world, and I wanted to, like the album. We were really proud of it. We love the way the visuals came out. We love the way the storytelling of the vinyl came out. We love the way
They will continue to come out. I mean, as
Yeah.
far as future of Money Cat, we're gonna have
we have another
a
music video in the works right now, actually.
in the
Hey,
works.
nice.
Yeah, pretty
It's
soon.
for a song on the record called "Count on Me"
Yep.
that we will be putting out. Well, that's a little
it
bit.
comes
We
out
have to
with the
solve that
record.
today.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah, we have
comes
to
out with
solve
the
that.
record. And we're also making a 4-part docu-series that documents the process of the record. So we'll be once we have, I'd say the first two episodes pretty much
Yeah,
done.
the first two are like 90% done, and you're editing the fourth one now.
Yes, and then I'll go back and do the third
And
one.
we're gonna go
So
back and
out
do
of
the
order
third
a
one.
little bit. But yeah,
Oh,
so we're gonna
nice.
do a docu-series that kind of digs into more about like our history, why we are the people to make the like the why here, why now, or whatever. Like
Right.
Yeah.
that kind of is a love letter to the album. Like just again, keeping in that trying to make art out of everything. We like filming things. So why
Yeah.
not make a docu-series and film the entire process of our record?
I think
You know?
I think there also could be
Yeah.
a lot more on our YouTube in the near future too. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that, well, at least I would even say the next year.
Yeah.
I feel like we're trying to document more of what we do and not just make music videos, but just kind of have, because the hard part about maintaining a YouTube channel when you're just putting out music videos is even when we're at our most aggressive, they're going to be like every 2 months or something,
Yeah.
and the algorithm likes a lot more than that. So we've been
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to basically capture everything and make content that is like worth sharing. Like I don't want to just put up baloney.
Mhm.
So we've been really trying to just capture everything, and then when something feels like something that other people may be able to get some value out of, then some interest for them, then we're going to try and make little YouTube videos. So I think the YouTube will be popping off more in the near future.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of songs already done that would be on the next release. We just have to kind of, it's so dumb, but so much of being in a band is just kind of that kind of stuff. Like, how
Right.
can we actually give this the attention it deserves? You know what I mean? And when you make a
Right.
lot of music, that's really fun because certain songs rise to the cream of the crop. And you're like, okay, we made 10 songs, but like the one I keep thinking about is this one. You know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
can be like, all right, this is the one that. On that same token, we're also very bad at picking singles. The one song that continuously does the best is "Don't Stop, Drip, Drip, Drop."
We ain't did.
We haven't done anything with it. We didn't make a music video. We didn't even really release it well. But every month or every week when we check our own, like, our Spotify numbers or like whatever those kinds of internal things are, it's the one that continuously for a couple years gets the most attention every single week. So maybe we'll make a music video for that.
Yeah.
Nice. And a friend Lexi wanted to know what is the most difficult shot from Ditto and or Honest. She just said most difficult shot from music videos, and I just picked those two because that's what I
Most
mainly
Yeah.
do.
difficult. Oh, I know what it is, but I don't. You. What were you gonna say?
Well, the one for me that I'm remembering as being difficult from one of those two videos was, so there's two. There is definitely one in Honest and there's one in Ditto for me personally. And the one from Honest is when I'm doing court. It's so simple, but I'm just supposed to like hit a mark, but I'm walking a horse.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember how hard that was?
Yeah,
to get
because the horse didn't want to stop.
The horse don't want to do nothing. Like that was hard. Like that took a while to get like me singing and the horse looking in the right place and not just turning around and putting his butt in the camera. Like it was
Yeah.
a thing. And
Horses don't
working
follow
with
direction
animals.
well.
Yeah, for sure. And then on Ditto for me,
Oh, and there was
I
wind too
actually-
on that honest shot.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that was another
Yeah,
problem. We
it was
kept having where she would look, she had to deliver something right to the camera, and the horse had to land right,
Yeah.
and there was wind blowing, and when you and the horse both looked, there was a hair in front of your face.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
you're
just
right.
remembered
No,
that.
you're right. And then for Ditto, so like the demon in hell, I guess the glowing red eyes, that was actually me for most of the scenes, dressed up like a demon, and so that was hard to get because it was so windy and we didn't take that into account. So like the the hood kept blowing off. Do you remember
Yes.
that? And then the glasses would fall off and all the fingers were different parts. It wasn't like a glove. It was like every finger. It was like having a bunch of bugles on your fingertips. And they would just, when I would try and stop my hood from falling off, the fingers would fall off.
Yeah.
And then I would look down to see where my finger went and the glasses would fall off. It was like a big thing.
And you were on a rock like 65 feet in the air.
Maybe not super safe.
Like it was probably not. Yeah. I mean, like I wouldn't have probably felt comfortable having an actor do the dancing because their vision was.
Yeah.
We had
You'll
people
make
up there.
your wife.
We did it as safe as we could. No, yeah, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But we had people around her that would,
Yeah.
if anything did go wrong, if you tripped or anything like that. But it was like a big, huge boulder on top of that huge precipice. You know what I mean? And then the other one that jumped out at me is from Follow the Leader, but I can't talk about it while you're here, Kate.
Oh, when I went swimming, when I went in the dunk.
No.
The swimming pool? Oh, no.
The guillotine.
Oh, yeah.
We rented a
Oh.
guillotine for the end of Follow the Leader,
Yeah.
and I
Oh.
was so nervous. It was wood. It wasn't a metal blade, but still, it was like a 60-pound sharp piece of wood. And we actually had to. We ended up having our friend Scotto, who was on the set as a PA. We I wasn't comfortable letting Kate just be under it because it was like, I didn't want to fall. So we had Scott hold it, and then we had to get a separate clean plate where like it was zip tied, it was everything, and then we had Scotto hold it because I didn't want to, do it. But then in the build afterwards, as you can imagine, us not being special effects pros, because I didn't want to put her in any danger, but it creates different shadows, it creates different lighting scenarios. So I had to take one chunk that is the guillotine, one chunk that is her, one chunk that is, I had to kind of build all that together,
Yeah.
which was like way more work than I thought it was going to be. On paper, I was like, yeah, piece of cake. We'll just do that and build it separately. Nope.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very hard. So that's more from an editing point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a safety.
In a safety point of view, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
always try to be really safe because we come with these crazy ideas and then you go to do it and you're like, hold on. Should she be up on a 60-foot precipice dancing and shaking her butt with her eyes covered in the dark, like with no cell phone reception, 35 miles away from emergency services? Like, it was a little scary. But we always try to make sure that I gotta admit, it sounds like I'm being like trite about it, but I feel like we are like ridiculously safety focused on sets, to be honest.
Yeah. You gotta
Because
be
it's
safe.
us and because we're, we know enough to know it can be dangerous, but we also don't know enough to know what is, like when we did a shot and Follow the Leader, we had stunt guys and we had to clear out every rock so we could do this. Like, we had a scene where we were rolling the Ford Bronco in circles in the desert. But that being said, it's still not safe because we had a camera person out there and we were circling around them. So we had to make sure no rocks would fly up. So we spent really a lot of time combing in the dark to make sure any loose rocks were taken away. And, we do things safe as we can.
Yeah.
My friend,
And thanks for the questions, friends.
yeah, there's a lot of questions. There's actually more. Some of these people are like, because I had to send them like this one. My friend Brittany, she says, OMG, love Ditto, love the cat made outfit. Wanted to know what was the inspiration behind that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for me personally, like I think that like I don't know, I isn't it called cat robbers or something like like robbing
yeah, cat burglars.
cat burglars, yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, we okay, so like there was the concept of us being a maid and a butler, and that tied in with the story. As far as the ears go,
I think it just kind of felt like an anime
it felt right.
character. Like, I think both of us were kind of cartoon characters in that part.
Yeah, and you know what? Our niece is like Etherean and like makes fur masks and things like that. They're 9. And I kind of like showing that stuff is cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just being different
Yeah.
and having fun with it. And obviously we are cat people. So
Yeah.
it felt real cohesive. It just made sense, when you just have like a vision and you're like, yeah, that's the vibe.
I feel like that was kind of just born like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny because I don't
Yeah.
even know the answer to that one, really. I mean, your answer is the truth, but I feel like it was just kind of like from the beginning. It was like,
Yeah, like after the shoot, I gave those ears to
Yeah.
our niece.
Yeah.
I was like, these are for you. They're in the music video. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
good question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good questions. There's a few more. Sorry.
No, I just realized that we talk so much. I feel like we should
you're
be more concise.
you are good, and I honestly I like it when they're because like you all are going so in depth with my questions as well, and you're actually giving the people that have asked me to ask you guys questions the same time of day, and they'll
course.
appreciate this when this comes out because when I ask people ahead of time, they're like, "Well, I can answer that," and then they'll give me like a whirlwind answer, and then it doesn't even answer
Yeah.
my question.
That'll
My
never be the
friend,
problem with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
my friend Lucas wants to know when filming Honest, was it crap, where is his message? It just popped. My computer is loading the message. I'm so sorry. Give me one
Oh,
second.
no
Okay.
problem.
Um, how okay, his question is when filming the music video Honest, did you already know like how long it was gonna take to film? Or was it like or did something come up to stop like did it delay production? I guess because he's a film student, so he's interested
Yeah.
like I guess he's
Yeah.
starting to work with bands that are doing music videos and he's trying to get like I guess tips. Like do you know how long it
Yeah.
took like I guess that's
We,
what he
I think that with Honest, we used every ounce of daylight that we could get. But so in LA, and I'm sure that they're in your neck of the woods as well. There's a website called Peerspace, and
Yes.
yes, and it's what we use to find our locations. That being said, when you book it, that is when you have to leave, and so we
Yeah.
had to be done.
Yeah.
And so I think that what happens towards the end, if you do, we didn't have to extend or anything like that, thank goodness. But as you get closer to sunset, you start making maybe some changes or
Yeah.
some like what's like some compromises on
Yeah.
here's my vision, but I know that this will take a long ass time to do.
Or you might not
So
get as much coverage as you
yeah,
thought you were going to get.
yeah.
But that's what making the animatic ahead of time comes in handy
I'm
because
not sure we
sometimes
did it with
we
that
didn't with
song.
Honest. We didn't with
And
Honest.
so for that, it did come
Yeah,
down
you're right.
to in the edit, like, oh, did we get enough? You
Yeah.
know?
But we also very strategically because this is this is just like general advice obviously, but being aware of your contingency plans ahead of time. Like we knew that if it starts to get closer to sunset, we're going to cut this shot and this shot first, but we have to get this shot, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
prioritizing which shots are your most
I would
important
say,
ones.
yeah, and I mean, for somebody getting started who's going to be doing music videos, I think the animatic is such an ace in the hole. Like it's made our life so much easier. But in addition to that, if you're just going to a location and you're worried about things, just get a full, really good, get like a wide and a close of the performance more than you think you need. Like
Yeah.
maybe do, like just make sure you get the song parts, and then everything else you can put coverage where you need it or cut in shots or whatever. But you can't we used to be like, oh, we're only doing the first verse because we got the second verse,
Yeah.
right? And then we'd get back and we'd be like, no, we want this shot again, but we didn't get it.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
think you're just gonna use a verse, do the whole song.
Because the
Even though
hard
we're
part
on-
is setting up, lighting,
yeah,
getting a
Yeah.
good angle.
once you're
Once you're there,
performance,
do a whole song performance. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because you're right. We
And
used to
work
be
it
like,
in to
well,
the
we're only
top.
going to use it on this one line where we punch in. Well, nope, it's there.
Because I'll tell
Run the
you
2.5
something.
minute song and just get it.
Even
'cause-
if you're making a music video, you're gonna want those continuous shots in that you can throw on TikTok
Yeah.
or Reels
Yeah.
or whatever. Like you're just gonna want them, so get them while your lighting looks amazing.
Some good real advice right there, Kate.
Thanks.
Yeah. A funny thing, I have a friend named Katie that asked the question: have there ever been any songs that you've released that have demo versions that have changed from lyrics to sound? And if there are, can we expect a demos EP, album, or single?
Oh, that would be so
That would be really fun. Yeah.
I mean,
I can
maybe
think
to
of.
a certain point. They're not full songs. What are you
Yeah.
thinking of? Because I feel like our songs kind of are.
I was just thinking of like, hold up, wait a minute, but that song's not out yet.
Yeah.
We had a whole nother version of that song and then we just kind of reworked it because we
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
There is also
They're
like
more fragmented, I would guess, because when we build them
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
whole. We build the track and we make it like 15 seconds of like really ADHD stacked to the gills, just over the top track. And then a lot of the rest of the song is like, and so that's where we might have that fragment with like some weird ideas. Then once we start, we like pull it out, like we massage it to be like a normal length and have like an arrangement. Then it kind of locks in, and the lyrics don't change that much, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I feel
Yeah.
like we've done lots of writing in the past that we've overwritten for songs, and then
Yeah.
sometimes those things end up in other songs.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they get as far as recording.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time we're recording them, we usually have a little bit of a, you know. But that being said, I could see us putting out an alternate versions of songs.
For sure. We do.
You know, because we do have them. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
right? Weren't we talking about that?
I want to
Well,
do
even
a
on-
high. I want to do a high, like the high pitched ones.
Oh,
Like
that'd be
the
fun.
release
Yeah.
of the record, but it's just all the like chipmunk
Like the sped up
sounding
versions.
ones. Yeah.
We have a version of Millionaire on the new record, which is a song we released previously, but it's a different version on the album. The album cut has a string quartet on it, because we Kate actually walked down the aisle to it at our wedding, and our friend made a string quartet version of it. So
It's
this
like a
version
wedding,
on the album is different than the previously released version. And that's coming out on the 8th, and that'll be on Spotify and whatnot on the 8th, but it's also on the album and on the CD and the cassette and stuff. And then we have a version of How You Like Me Now, which we've already released without a video. But we added our friend who's a rapper. We have a whole different verse, and the mix is different, and there's some other little changes to it. So we kind of are doing that. So good question, Katie.
Mhm.
You will hear 2 of them in the next couple
Well, by the
weeks.
time this comes out, it will
Yeah.
probably the album will be streaming. So everybody, if you are listening to this, I already know it's come out after the album's dropped.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
please stream it. I will prioritize. I will be streaming it when it comes out as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Nice.
gonna probably get a CD, even though I have
Aww.
no way to play it.
I know, that's so
It-
funny.
Oh,
We appreciate it.
yeah. Okay, I have a few more fan questions. I'm sorry, then I got a couple more. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
My friend Eric wants to know what was the hardest song to write and record, if there are any, and slash, what was the most difficult part about filming? Oh, he just said any music video.
Okay.
Oh, wow, he
Hardest
had
song to
multiple
write and
questions.
record.
Yeah, hardest song to write and record, and if any, and what was the hardest thing to shoot on any of the music videos, if any? Oh,
I'd say the hardest song to write and record might have been Don't Stop Drip Drip Drop. And the reason why I say that is because that production was a big practice in restraint for us.
Yeah.
We're usually super like maximalist, but we wanted to try and make a song that was like, it's not the song that kicks off the party, and it's not the song that ends the party. It is the song that keeps the party going, and it's at about a 7.5 the whole time.
Yeah.
And that one was really, really hard because our brains don't really work like that.
Yeah, a lot of our songs go from like 1 to 10 to 2 to 8 to 10
we
to
live
1.
in the drama, and
But that one's just kind of a nice,
we're just trying to make something
consistent
chill.
bubble.
Like,
And we decided we were going to do that, and we stuck to it. But it was hard. It was actually kind of hard.
But it was fun because it is kind of one of our songs that does the best now, which makes me feel like maybe we should try something like that again.
It's fun to
The
challenge
restraint.
ourselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the hardest part of making any music video,
Oh, I know what it is.
money.
Go, 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 go.
Oh,
Being in the helicopter.
that was really hard.
We did a shot from inside of a helicopter over Waikiki. And if we were filming, we were fine. The second we weren't filming, it was like Panic Attack City because there was no doors on this thing. And I mean, it was actually quite terrifying. It was like, you know what I mean? And I don't think of us as being particularly afraid of heights, but like, I feel like I would turn off the camera and be like, okay, great job, Kate. And like, you would tense up and your eyes would well up. And then I'd turn the camera back on and you'd be like,
the only way
you just start
was
rapping.
if I was working the whole time. Yeah, for sure. I couldn't stop. I couldn't think about what was actually going on.
We have a music video for a song called Boom where we're on a Ferris wheel. And it was the same kind of thing. We're like, as long as I was filming, we were filming.
I have a lot of fears.
Yeah. but you know.
Yeah.
And we did a music video. Well, that's okay. Those are
Yeah.
probably good answers. Those are good answers.
But generally speaking, I don't know if he was speaking specific or generally, but like generally, I think that getting, because we have visions and we do have friends, but we like to pay our friends just because we don't want to be the problem in the world that doesn't pay people, or
Yeah.
like it's great exposure. So I think that like getting the budget, sticking to the time, making sure you have everything that you need, that organization, I think pre-production is the hardest. But if you like who you work with and you do your homework ahead of time, you're less likely to like the set should be fun. It should
Yeah.
be a stressful
Yeah.
experience. You want to stress out at the beginning and then like on the front half and then like actually let yourself enjoy the process of making it, even though you do need someone with a clipboard telling you you're running late.
That's usually Kate. Usually I'm the guy who's going behind because I'm like, oh, let's get one more take. And Kate's like, pointing at her clock or her watch and being like, come on, we got to go. We always say, cry in the dojo, laugh in the battlefield.
That's right.
Where it's like you prepare so hard that it's
So that when you're
impossible.
paced by the minute,
Yeah, so that when everyone is there on set, you've already kind of thought through all the worst case scenarios and made some game plans. And then it doesn't really bother you if you expect that there's going to be issues and you have some ideas of how you're going to handle them. Things go wrong and you're like, all right, I guess we go with plan B, what we were going to do. So that's a good answer. I agree, Kate.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My friend Charlie, who is actually a video editor up in Maine, he doesn't do a lot anymore, but he was. I don't know if he's still doing a lot, but he asked if you could reshoot any music video that you've done and given it a whole different vibe. Would there be any, or are you just sat, or is that not really, or is that not a possibility for you?
It's
Well, I'm gonna
funny
think about
because
that.
we
That's-
have a video for a song
Oh,
called
yeah.
Come Back, and it's going to be our next single. And we filmed a music video for it.
Count on Me.
Count on Me. Yeah, sorry.
We have a whole video for Count on Me done currently.
Yeah, and I think that we just it felt it's once we put it all together, we had made an animatic for it. We knew what we were doing. Something about it doesn't have drama. Like so we didn't I think that we don't go so far. We will make the whole video. We have a few music videos actually that
we have 2 or 3 music videos done that we never put out.
Because we'll get to the end and we'll realize they don't pass the gut check. But then we don't put them out. I do think we're gonna incorporate that video for Count on Me into the new video that we shoot in a fun way. Like it's not gonna be a complete scrapped piece, but
it'll be about a 90% reshoot though.
Yeah, I think that all of our music videos they capture where we were at that time of our life, and I do think that like quality wise they've improved, but I think that that's because we've outgrown kind of. We always joke that they're elaborate selfies, and they are, but we do have really talented friends that we like to bring on the set so that we don't have to focus as much on am I in focus? Like we used to be like, we have 3 hours at this pier space, like for Check It.
Yeah.
And it was like, are we in focus? I don't know. The only way I know is if I go and look in the camera, but then I'm not in the shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
But even Check It, I still stand behind. But that one was literally it was both of us, no help.
Yeah.
A selfie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We had a slider, an automated slider for a couple shots.
Yep.
So there'd be a little movement.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, it was just me and you in a room and a cat.
Mm-hmm. That's
right. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right. Now he also asked another question.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, he's very big in video production like me. So he's like, when filming a music video, he's like, I worked with bands like Red Jumpsuit. We've had speakers on set where they would tell us where we were at in the music video. Is that something that you all do as well? Speakers playing the song at the right parts, or do you all just incorporate it where you already know?
When we're that organized, we will do that. We'll bring a speaker, but we're always. It's special when we have someone explicitly on playback. A lot of the times it's just we've got a phone in our pocket and we're triggering it. So if we're the only ones who need to hear it, we don't need it to necessarily be even on a speaker. Sometimes our iPhone works, right?
There's actually like that one we did in the helicopter. We had no way of doing playback. So Kate was just trusting her internal rhythm based on what she knew of the song, and it
I was
lined
so
up
impressed.
perfectly. I could not. I did not think it was going to work. I thought we were going to have to like cut in and out a lot, but because you knew how the song went, she just delivered it. No click, no anything, and it lined up perfectly, which is pretty crazy. I would not suggest people do that.
Nothing but my own terror to
Yeah.
keep tempo.
Yeah.
Um, that's really good. I like that. I've been on sets where they've used playback, and I'll be honest. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't. It just
Yeah.
depends on how
Yeah.
tired I am, especially if you're
Yeah.
there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, yeah. Speaking of this, how long did it take to shoot from mansion to execution scene? Was it always planned to be night shoot, or we just ran out of time? This is from my friend Lexi.
It was always planned to be a night shoot, and we did run out of time also.
Yes.
So-
But we did shoot that one in order, so when if we ran out of time, the timeline
Yeah.
would go along with it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
But that's a
okay.
really good. That's a good
So
question. You can tell we got some
the one
filmmakers.
where the scene where we're tied up and we're like the guys yelling at us before we're in the desert. That was, you might not be able to tell, but it's not actually filmed in that mansion. It was filmed at the jail set that day because we ran out of time to get that shot.
Yeah, you're right.
You remember?
Yeah.
So
And
we
they
just
the next day we had the prison shoot, and at that location they had like an interrogation room. So we just kept it real dark.
kept it real dark,
Yeah.
real close.
Yeah, but
and
it
we were
feels like
maybe
it.
it'll still feel
I
like
think it
this
feels
spot.
and that's
Yeah.
a different person. We had one actor coming in the door, and then we had another actor who was actually
But they
interrogating
weren't
us.
actors. They were all like
Yeah, it's like friends of ours that are like
They were
directors and
like-
whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just kind of wore similar outfits and went from there. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Just gotta get blue. Like I have more questions. Let's see if I
I
have.
wonder if they asked that because technically I think it was daylight outside the window
I
by the time
don't
we're getting
know. I
interrogated.
think
No, he
because
made it look blue.
Oh yeah, you're okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I remember he was proud of that, Dennis.
Yeah. Dennis was that was good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Isaac wants to know when you guys call like when if there's ever been a time when you've ever been like have you ever been caught filming without film permits, if any, or and how crazy is it?
We
All the time.
we well we don't
Sorry.
get in trouble for film permit stuff because our footprint's always so light unless we rented a space.
Right.
Yes.
We don't get in trouble for
No, we don't get in trouble, but
we do
like
crazy
we've done
shit.
whole music videos in New York City, like outside for like that was for the zoo, but we did stuff for my rock band. But you're right. If we keep a small enough footprint, you're
I
okay.
think in New York City you can't have a tripod or you need a film permit.
Yes.
But you can have a monopod.
Yes.
Or you could have a gimbal.
Yes.
Like so you
Yeah.
just gotta be creative. In our neighborhood, everybody's filming all the time. And I think like in our like around the corner you can go and you can see you with our setup, it's so easy to just tell people I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a ton of things. We're
And
not
when-
bringing huge lights.
When we're in a studio, it's a different story. We can
Yeah.
bring everything
And you don't need permits to do
inside
that.
of those
Right.
studios. But we've also the shoot for the album cover. We were on our way to a location, and we were afraid we were going to run out of sunlight, and we literally just found another location on the side of the road and filmed it.
Oh, that was naughty. Yeah,
That was
we
naughty.
Definitely B&E'd. Like,
Yeah, that we kind of just
We were
snuck
on
down a
something.
road and found a cool desert
you know
area.
what I would do? I put a pin in that location when we were there. I want to run a vinyl back to that spot as an Easter egg for like someone to find because that's where like in the
Yeah.
location where we filmed or
That's a
when
good-
we
yeah.
took that photo.
Yeah, but it was just in the middle of the desert, off the road. We were kind of running out of time, and we were like talking on the phone to the other cars, and we were like, "How about this? Up on the right? Okay, let's do it." And we just pulled off down a weird utility road. We may or may not have kind of opened a gate to get behind
I
an
don't
area.
think we did. I think
No?
it was definitely someone's property, but we didn't open any gates.
Okay,
There was no
good,
gates.
good.
Yeah.
My friend. Okay, Charlie asked another question. Oh, this might be different, Charlie. Yeah, this is different, Charlie. I've there's so many people with the same names. Charlie wants to know what is the most. If you could go back. Oh, I never heard that. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I'm going down the messages as I'm reading them, and there's like so many. Oh, here it is. Friend Ethan wanted to know, what's it like to film a Western music video? Was it everything you wanted it to be, or did you have other plans but time got in the way?
It was everything we wanted it to be.
It was.
It was so much fun because I mean we're not like hiring randos. They're our best friends. We brought out one of our very best friends from New York City just to help us with this video. So it was like she came out. We did a bunch of like dreaming and scheming, and she got us the horses and like
Yeah,
just
we got the ponies from like a birthday party company that
yeah.
had ponies that they would bring because we thought it'd be funny if instead of having big awesome horses, we she had like a real pretty little pony.
They brought those horses to the set in a minivan.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
That was literally. I mean, that was so fun.
It was just so much fun to feel like we're out in the desert. We hit the open road. We're dressed like cowboys.
And the costumes, because we got them from the Western Costume Company, were so authentic. We felt like we were cowboys. Like that was just
very,
incredible.
very fun. There was like I'm sure you can tell. I mean, I can tell watching it just like how much fun we were having on that video. That was the best day ever.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun when y'all were filming it. It looked like a lot of fun. I'm like, oh, that looks neat. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking, wait, they're based out in the desert. It's probably hot as hell out there.
It was.
It was.
It was hot. It was really hot. There was a trailer. We had cars with AC, and but it was warm. But when you're in that getup, you're. I don't know, something about being on set, like kind of what we were talking about when I was in the helicopter, and I just
Yeah.
get scared but I have to be performing, and it kind of overrides that fear a little bit more for me.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I'm a little more tough when I know we're on set.
Yeah. You just do what you got to do to get it
You
done.
got to do, but it was so much fun.
Looks like fun. My friend Joey wants to know, what is the scariest day? Oh, I guess it would be the helicopter, but he wanted to know what was the scariest moment on set. I guess it would be the helicopter.
The helicopter was terrifying. I would also say I would like to throw in there for myself that we had this scene on Follow the Leader music video where Colin pushes me into the swimming pool. And that was terrifying, but even more terrifying than that was we got an underwater
Housing, like underwater
for the
housing for the
camera.
camera.
So we could bring our good camera underwater and we could get some stuff of me swimming underwater. And I am not very confident in the water. And I don't really know how to hold my breath underwater very well. I just get real scared. That was actually terrifying because I kept feeling like I was drowning and then I had to do it again. Like I did not love that. I actually did not love that at all. That sucked. And I couldn't hold it very long. So I kind of like think I breathed in some pool water and I got bronchitis for months afterwards. Like that.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That was maybe my limit, was the underwater thing. But the helicopter was terrifying too.
Which is funny because I'm trying to direct her and I don't have any problems underwater. Like I'm fine. I think I love swimming and I'm good at it. And so we'd go underwater and I'd be like, okay, that was great. Now do it again, but don't look like you're in pain. And she'd be like, I can't. And then we'd go underwater. I'd be like, yeah. But you look, can you just stay underwater for longer? And she's like, no. So
That's great. What has been okay, I guess this is going back to either the Ditto music video or the Honest music video. I don't know. It says, what is the craziest thing about being tied to a tree?
That's an Honest.
I was
The
honest.
craziest thing about that was that it wasn't being tied to the tree. I actually wasn't really tied. We just made it look like I was.
Yeah.
The thing about that was those Joshua trees are pointy.
very
Yeah,
prickly.
I think that's probably what she meant. It was
Yeah. I was getting poked. I had to be real careful
yeah, it looked
not
like a
to.
cactus.
Yeah, I had to be real careful not to get cut, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, we put me in all kinds of precarious situations.
Yeah, what is wrong with us? We're always putting you in these dangerous situations.
Yeah.
For the drama, man,
Yeah,
right?
but we
Yeah.
didn't actually
But how
tie
does
me. It looks like I'm tied, but I wasn't actually.
next video
not
is going to
what I
be
wanted.
your revenge, where I just have to do
Oh,
all
that's
of
a
the,
good idea.
where I
for
just
a
have to do
video.
all of the hard
Yeah, you
things
heard it
instead
here
of you.
That's
all
a
the
great
hard,
idea.
yeah, like all the
I'll
hard
like
work.
tie you up. Like I'll tie you up at a train track and make you look like a
Yeah.
Hey,
like a
there you go.
lady.
Yeah.
Honest 2.0.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
for real.
That's my friend Mark. He's an idiot. I don't know. I love Mark. Mark, if you're listening to this, you're funny. No, he also
You're
had another
funny,
question.
Mark.
Yeah, he also wanted to know what is this? What if it was a crazy moment doing the Ditto music video? I guess because of all the sets and stuff. What was your favorite set to film in?
My favorite set to film in was the mansion.
The mansion.
Yeah,
It
it
was
looked really sick.
so nice. It was so nice.
It was just so cool looking on screen. Like,
Yeah.
and there were so many awesome rooms we didn't even get to use because there wasn't enough shots.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, it was that was very fun, and lighting it was really really fun. Our friend Dennis was with us, who's really just fantastic, and we would just we had to keep running out and setting up our moon and shining it through the different light. We had people on set flagging different things. But we had really really a fun time getting that lighting perfect because
When
the
a
room
place
just looked
looks
amazing.
that good, you don't have to do anything. But we got to. It was sort of like all icing on the cake. And I always like when we take pretty locations that you see the Peer Space description and the house is just looking beautiful and there's all these gorgeous influencers and they're in sparkly gowns or whatever and they're laying on the fainting couch.
Yeah.
And I like when we take those same locations, but we use them in a way that's never been used by making the light like way upping the drama by doing parts of it at night where it could look a little more haunted, a little more spooky.
The video for Follow the Leader, there's a scene that's like supposed to be like Marie Antoinette's mansion the day that of the revolution, and there's torches outside and candlelight and fire and flames and whatnot, and that room is gorgeous, but it's like bright and white and gold, so turning it into a spooky dark kind of terrifying scene was one of my favorite things. That's probably one of my favorite locations we ever shot at. But
Yeah. All right, we have one more question from Mark, and he wanted to know what was the most expensive music video.
The most expensive might have been it's maybe a toss up between Honest and Follow the Leader. Um, we have budgets that we make for them now, and I think that it's a toss up between those ones. With Honest, I think the majority of that was that it was one very long shoot day.
yeah,
well,
that's what saved our butt. There was it was 2 days. There was the Joshua Tree part, and then the set.
Yeah.
The Western town.
But those costumes.
The costumes were very expensive.
And they became they became more expensive because we had to rent them a whole second week, even though we didn't really need them that long. I think that like our second location couldn't have us until like a week after, so we had to keep them. So that was like a little expensive. That one was pretty expensive.
And Follow the Leader, the one location was very expensive. That was like a backyard where we had like a cult scene.
The swimming pool.
The swimming pool part.
The cult.
That it was a very luxurious,
that was
beautiful
our most
location.
Expensive location that we ever used,
Yeah.
and we went late a little bit. We ran over, so we did an extra couple hours there. But and you had to pay extra if you wanted the pool heated. You remember?
Yep.
It was like extra $300 if you want the pool to be warm. And I'm like, I think we need to have the pool be warm. So yeah. So
but worth it.
But it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine. I'm sure. I remember when I was in film school, we used Peer Space to do like an office building. We rented out this office space. It was like, I don't know if it was Peer Space, but wherever we had to go through to get it, the electric went out, so we couldn't film. Like there was a power outage, and I'm like,
oh
are we
no,
gonna get charged for this? Or like probably not. Sure enough, it showed up on the credit card statement. My my cinematographer actually threatened to take him to court over it.
Wow.
And
that makes sense. I mean, that's not, you can't even use it. I mean, that ruined everything. It probably cost you guys a bunch more money, and
not fun. I'm glad I wasn't in that argument. It's like, hey,
yeah,
that's on
exactly.
you. I just helped you direct it. You paid for it. Um,
Yeah, actually, the first place we went to do our shoot for the album cover, was that what happened? Remember, there was that one place we couldn't use.
For the
They didn't
album
have the
cover?
car.
Yeah, well, he basically, yeah, this location was affordable, and we went with him because he was centrally located in LA. He was uh, affordable, and he said that he had picture cars, and we didn't have to rent a picture car or a car off Turo or whatever. We didn't have to rent a car, that he had them there, and he could put it in the location we wanted, and then we would just get in the trunk for the photo. And then we got there and we were like, this car is, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it was.
Like, we were
It was
locked
bad.
out. We couldn't get into the trunk. He was like, I'm not even there to move it. We were like, oh, we were definitely sold a false bill of goods. So we
So you
just
got to be
left.
careful,
And
especially
yeah,
because we're paying everybody to be there, and we're booking,
yeah,
and
that
we're
was
fighting
rough.
deadlines. So that was a little rough, but
Yeah.
yeah, that happens.
yeah. All right, we got one more from Ralph, and Ralph wants to know if you could go. Well, obviously we already answered the whole thing, but if you had the book, and okay, I guess he must know who you are a little bit because he said I see they're releasing an album. Ask them if if they have an album release show, which we already talked about, and if so, where would they book that? I guess that question's invalid because you already have it.
Well, we booked the album release show. We're so excited about it. It is at the Peppermint Club. I will gas up this venue. It is the prettiest venue I've ever seen with my own two eyes.
Yeah, it's like Great
As far
Gatsby
as like a
elegance.
club
It's really
goes,
cool
it's
looking.
stunning. So I'm really, really excited to play this venue. We've never played there before. We've only attended as fans of artists and of the venue there, you know. We're excited. It's the 13th, if anyone's, I don't know
Yeah,
when this is
August
gonna
13th. If
air.
this is not,
Well,
and maybe that's in the
If
past.
not,
it's in the past.
you'll
So
see
go to
some,
our
go
Instagram and check out the
check out
pictures.
the pictures from it.
Yes, I'm very. If I could get if I could get to California, I would definitely go. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes.
you'll be there in spirit.
I know. I would love to go. Like, I'm like, but hey, if you ever make it out to Baltimore, I will make sure that I can make
Totally.
that happen. Even if you need like a filler date. Like, I have a show coming up in November. I have a filler date for an artist because they're traveling from, I think, Nashville, but they play in like Virginia the day before, and they had like 2 days off. Now they only have one day off because they're gonna go from Virginia to Philly, and they're like, we need something in between. That's not sustainable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I know a lot of bands that go on the road, especially if they're DIY or not having the financial, not necessarily the complete financial backing of a team. It could kill you. It could kill you on tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, especially this touring. I know it's not cheap and it's not easy to tour, especially now with inflation. The costs are always going up. It's insane.
100%.
But all right. Well, before I let you all go completely, I am gonna play this back to make sure I recorded everything. Is there any want to give out some last shout outs that you where people can find you at?
Oh, you could hit us up. Find us on Instagram. That's where we get into the most trouble. And then also our YouTube, we're going to be caring for a little bit more in this next few months.
And I feel like
So
our TikTok gets kind of like the exclusives. Like I feel like we put stuff on TikTok
because we
sometimes.
don't care. So
Yeah,
we'll put some weird experimental stuff on TikTok, I
yeah.
think.
So those are probably the best three places to keep in touch with us. And honestly, just reach out if you're interested. If you ask a question, if you got any more questions, just hit us up because it's us that answer them. Sometimes it takes us a minute to get back, but like it's always us, and we always do get back. So
Yeah, because that's how we got it on. That's how we did this. I just hit it up on Instagram.
totally, and we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere, guys. I want to make sure I got all this recorded.